Yo guys, what is going on? Nickname is just Yellow, and today this Norwegian hardcore PC gamer is gonna make a video about how Call of Duty is turning out to get killed by CSGO, which makes CSGO the Call of Duty killer. That entire phrase has been relatively popular for a longer time, and I figured I would just flush out the subject, why it's there. I got a video on why it was going to happen. I already made a video about that. Now, when it practically have happened, I'm gonna go through, you know, what it means, what is going to happen, what will happen, what has happened, and why all of this makes sense. You know, a lot of bigger YouTubers out there who are uploading Call of Duty stuff, people I've not watched in fucking years or never watched, why they are, you know, just changing over to CSGO. So let's start off with the games themselves and what, you know, how they work fundamentally speaking and what this then means. So a game that performed better in any respect and any regard will always be better in the end of the day if the skill ceiling and skill gap, you know, like the gap and then the ceiling, you know, how good you can actually get at the game, you know, the better and the bigger all that is, the technically speaking, more awesome the game will be. Now, you also gotta have a good framework for this game, and it also need to, you know, have really good frame rate, or else you're really screwed, especially on the PC, when we can and do get hardware that is just way superior compared to anything else out there on the market. So, knowing this, Cantrix Engine is working in a way in which you're working yourself around on a very tactically laid out map. You know, you can only go so many places, you can only, you know, move so many times back and forth and shit like that. What this means then, when you double down on a relatively speaking low moving speed, you don't need to render a fuck ton of the worthless part of the map, which is fucking awesome. The server just keeps track of that, and there you go. You suddenly now, because you don't render 70% of the map that you cannot see, you are saving so many frames. You have no fucking clue, technically speaking, how many frames you are actually saving, which is really awesome, and it makes it so that my potato laptop over there, it can also run the game, but at 30 FPS though. But knowing this, that is already the basis of CSGO. What do we have in Call of Duty? No, I'll render all of it at the same time. Fuck that. You know, fuck frames. Who want frames? What is that? Like, frame is like a fucking picture on my wall? It's just like the contrast is already very, very big. Valve has done a really great job just implementing that and making it really effective. Now, they did the same with player models, making wall hacking very, very much gone in the last... In the last section of time. You can still get trigger tools that are really cancerous, and you should probably get, you know, fucking drowned alive, or some horrible accident should happen to you if you still use those hacker tools. But the point in case is that now there's also way less cheaters too, so yeah, the game is already better, well better off. On the console though, you don't really have any cheaters regardless, normally, so there's that. So, you know, already that's kind of cool. And what else do we really have? Well, you render the entire map at the same time, so holding up 60 FPS, barely. I don't know what to say. Well, I guess it works, you know. You have your own set of controllers too, so I think that is cool. And everybody got the same platform, so that is cool. Even though, again, a monitor improvement or upgrade combined with a internet upgrade for console players, that will affect them as well. Even though, again, that also affects players on the PC as well. So then, moving on, the change in the environment itself, YouTube as a clusterfuck and as, you know, an environment just like in nature, with Call of Duty and media, or I was gonna say social media, well, technically speaking, and also doubling down that with how it affects games that are related to it. Counter-Strike is getting a fuck ton of pull, and there's no much more juice left in Call of Duty. The reason for that is because Call of Duty is the same fucking game every year compared to the previous game or the two games behind it. No, nothing you can do there, okay? But normally speaking, mostly I'm right. I know that there are some new things out there, but it doesn't really, it all pale in comparison to Counter-Strike. The reason for that is because we get like 3 or 4 map events every year in which are made by the community, and you only gotta pay $5 or $10 at worst. So there's that, you know, already plethora of maps that are made by the community too, by the way, and you don't even need to play them if that is what you fancy. Anybody can get any skins they want for any price they want. I'm gonna make a couple of videos on how to make or get those cheaper also, by the way, rather, because you can do that too. Like, there's so many things you can do in terms of value and how your game look personally for you in that sense with the weapons. That also makes that work out well. So, you know, anybody, regardless how much money you have, you can always find something that is unique to you. And then again, we got the gambling stuff around the game in terms of people betting on teams and shit like that. So that is pretty nice. What more do we have? We have the cases within the game itself, keys with that. People also got trading. So already the game have a lot of extra stuff to itself, but that is not even the biggest part. All the mods on the servers that people make privately and set up privately, that's fucking awesome. Like, you got deathmatch, you got surfing, you got bunny hop, you got the K-set maps I talked about in terms of increasing your movement skill. You got headshot servers, you got only pistol servers, you got the zombie chasing servers, you got the death run. You got so much shit for free, it's insane. So yeah, also you got the proper gun game, you got the shitty gun game, you got, oh man, it's just insane how many mods you have. So you also get that for free, by the way, when you buy one copy of Cantrix 2, so, CSGO, not Cantrix 2, lol. So there you go. Already a shit ton of content you get with this single game, on top of free drops of cases or skins all the time, in which you can sell and then buy skins again. So yeah, yay galore, skins galore, I was gonna say. So already, you know, the game is set in its basis to be just incredible compared to anything that you got on the console. Now when you combine this with the matter of fact that there is a massive lack of Call of Duty streaming on Twitch, which is the place to go if you ever want to get exposure of your popular game, because essentially it works like a semi-free TV station in which anybody can really watch, and people will, you know, go there and watch whatever. If a game then is popular there, naturally that is going to get some drag of an audience, even more so if the game is actually really good and it's not that expensive and it's giving you a fuck ton and people are having fun with the game and the game is really hard and the game has a lot extra to it, you know. Having that high up there on the list of Twitch, that is instantly going to, you know, absorb anything similar to it that might not be compared that good. And Counter-Strike is doing that. Counter-Strike is eating up Battlefield, eating up any other FPS game that might be slightly big. You know, just eating up Call of Duty, even more so because Call of Duty is not there and people like to go on Twitch. So moving over to that MLG side has to be the most stupid move I've ever seen in terms of earning money on streaming and being tactically smart about it and being, you know, trying to contain a healthy environment for a game, because you're not even pushing anything then. Even though, again, when you compare CSGO to Call of Duty it cannot even hold up by quality and by things that you get. Like, it just, doesn't really work. So yeah, it's already worth set, but even more so in the YouTubers scene, a lot of YouTubers are moving over because, you know, they want to follow what is good and what is hot, and Counter-Strike is just so good in all of these aspects that when you make videos about it, it obviously do well. I can see why for any kind of reason, with any kind of motivation, that people will, to some degree, enjoy CSGO content. Even more so because the game is so skill demanded that, like, if people then do something good, it actually makes it kind of awesome again. You know, getting a fucking quad feeds or 5-man feeds in Call of Duty, that's not cool anymore and not fun anymore because it has been done to death. I've done it myself to death. Like, it's really fucking mundane in the long run because it's so easy to do, because the game is played in such a monotone way. So there's nothing to really gain that is new with that game. Even more so because the game is not being treated like CSGO, Call of Duty, you know, which is, you know, get constant updates all the time. The game is already have insanely advanced mechanics that need to be to some level mastered, and, you know, just, you know, gotta have a smart mind too, and you gotta be able to peek all these pixel perfect positions to be able to get kills and shit like that. Like, the game is already not well set off in the YouTube environment. Then when you want to upload videos and you want to cover shit and you want to make funny clips and montages and shit like that, even though, again, that is constantly gonna happen regardless, so there's no real point to even discuss that. But the point, though, is that, like, all of this stuff here, it's more fresh and proper, and it have more value in the CSGO scene compared to Call of Duty, which has already been doing this for like 7, 8, 9 years, technically speaking, which does not really hold up well in the longer run then when, you know, everybody are tired of paying a fuck ton for one game when you can buy another one that performs better as long as you have a mediocre PC and you get more for less, you know. What else is there to say, really? I don't fucking know. But my point should have been made. You know, this game is essentially eating up by an organic kind of, or from an organic view, it's eating up Call of Duty, and there's nothing that you can really do about it. Now, what will happen when a lot of new players get into the game, excuse me, and This is where stuff get interesting to me, is that a lot of new players that might not be or will not be suited for the game, they will eventually join the game because they want to play it. Now, what they need to understand is that if you're gonna play competitive, you better fucking be competitive, because that's why you are there. If you don't even know why you are there, why are you there? Play casual if you're gonna play casual, play competitive if you're gonna play competitive. That is all you need to know if you're gonna play CSGO, okay? Don't fuck with people who actually want to win, because we are there to win. Like, that's the entire point, that we are there. Which is going to, people are going to forget what I just said regardless, and they're going to go into competitive, and they're going to be annoying. That is just how it works. Even more so in Counter-Strike, because in the past, all the people who weren't that good at the game, because of how the rank system, it just executed itself slower, which means that you couldn't rank up as fast. So there's that. You didn't rank up that fast. Smurfers, they just, for some reason, made it so that it was way harder for you to actually rank up. Cheaters were very much more powerful than they were, you know, nowadays. So there's that. All of this stuff here pushed all of the really weaker players further down, which meant that if you actually got really good at the game and you got up to the top 3 ranks, you were practically global elite already, which happened fucking super easy when all the cheaters were banned and the most annoying cheats were removed because of the mechanics I mentioned earlier. When they were removed, because, you know, like, now suddenly everybody can rank up. Like, all the people to Legendary, Eagle, Master, and up, they are all now Global Elite. And then everybody else, like, you drag that entire fucking scale of ranks, you know, Silver 1 to Eagle, now suddenly that is going to be all the way up to Supreme rank. So everything got thinned out, everything got easier, way less cheaters, Smurfers didn't even have that much of an impact. Now, I know what you people think. Smurfers are bad. Cheaters are bad. Mentally speaking, they're not fucking bad. People need to understand this. I should make a video about this subject alone. Thanks for the indirect idea of making me say this right now. Going through hardship, mentally speaking, is some of the best things that you can ever do, because it means that you will now be set for tasks that might be equally tough or harder when you know, surpass it. So in a context of ranking up in Counter-Strike, if you meet somebody at fucking Global Elite level down at Master Guardian 1 rank, if you are able to kill him a couple of times, you are probably going to rank up after that game if you play 3 more, you know? That's just how it is. Even more so, Counter-Strike is a game that do demand at the highest level a lot of grinding and deathmatch. You know, you just run in, you fucking try to play your aim and your, you know, technical skills the best, and you see how many kills you can get. Grinding that day by day by day, which then give you really a high level of skill. Like, things like these are what it requires to play Counter-Strike at a high level, even though, again, now that it's not required as much in order to be able to reach Global Elite rank, which is why I think the game should get higher ranks at the top at least. Like, in the end of the day, what are we sitting down with? We're sitting down with a system that is way more casual than what it was in the past, whether or not it's intentional or accidental. We're sitting down with a lot of players that can now jump into the game, and whether or not they are serious, they're going to get some certain rank in which they shouldn't even have, because the system is not what it used to be. Regardless, they're not going to have the right mentality, however much they grind compared to what used to be the norm 6 months ago from when I made this video. It's not as good as it used to be, and I predicted this a year ago, or a little bit less. Like, this is rather obvious to me that this would happen with a game getting this big and so many filthy casuals, as you would call it, getting into the game. Like, in the end of the day, the only thing that you can really do is to heighten the ceiling of players that can play in CSGO, and that is it. You can't really do anything else, because, you know, it's really fucking hard to battle this. Like, what are you gonna do? Inject Smurfers just to give people a boss and see how good they can handle them in order to increase their mental performance? You can't really do that. But regardless, this is all gonna be brought in because of these bigger YouTubers. The only thing I can really say about that is that whenever these YouTubers want to make a tutorial video, be really fucking aware of what they're making and exactly, technically speaking, what they are saying, because unless you have been through all of it and dissected it like me on my own, for example, you're not really going to be able to reach that high level. And so if you learn something from people who just don't technically actually know exactly what they're talking about, you're not actually learning what you should learn. So that means that you're getting mislearned. Is that even a word? And you could actually, you know, be even better just by following the right people and learning the right things compared to what you did learn. So a lot of risks, a lot of negative things can happen, but mostly all of this is awesome because, you know, a bigger game means bigger prize pools, bigger updates. Bigger updates? Yeah, also anti-cheat updates. Even more so, maybe new ranks, a more refined game. There are always some bugs out there. And also the Source Engine 2 might come out eventually, and all that stuff is fueled by people. Thus, we need more people. So, in the end of the day, like, there are negatives and positives to all of this, but I'm just really fucking happy that the best game is winning the entire social media battle, and that is CSGO over Call of Duty. So, thanks for watching this video. I just figured I would go through it all for people who are not aware. I got one older video that takes, I got a little different take on this. I'll link both of these two in the end of this video right here, so you can look at them. They're older though, so they're not that accurate, but you probably get my point. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to support this YouTube channel, you can check out the Patreon page, in which you do get rewards. Also, my PC is not as good as you might think though, so that would be really helpful if you would help me out with that. Anyways, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play people.